Welcome to another unit in this methodology toolbox. This time I'm going to talk about difference tests for the situation where the dependent variable is ordinal. In this case, similar to the nominal situation, we can differentiate four different situations. That's first off, how many samples are we going to compare? Is it only two samples or is it more than two samples? And we can differentiate between do we have paired or unpaired samples. Let's start with the situation where we only have two samples and unpaired data. In this situation we can use the pronoun to the classical t-test, which means we're using the Mann-Whitney u-test, or in some cases simply called the u-test. If the data, however, is paired, still two samples, then we're going to use the Wilcoxon test. It's also relatively easily interpreted considering the results. If, however, we have more than two samples, we need two other approaches. That would first off be for unpaired data, the Kruskal-Wallis test, which oftentimes is also considered like the ordinal pendant to variance analysis, the classical one-factor variance analysis. And for paired data, we would have to use the W test or the Candle W test. So that's basically it. We have these four situations, whereas those tests in some cases, the lower test for multiple samples, in some cases also work for two samples. It's much easier working with the two above, meaning the Mann-Whitney u-test or the Wilcoxon test. What I just skipped earlier, well, as an alternative to Wilcoxon test, some people use the even simpler sign test. Well, doesn't matter which you use, they both work more or less pretty similar. Well, this then finally concludes this short session on which tests for an ordinal dependent variable are there. So I hope you enjoyed this short session. I say goodbye and see you next time.